Alrighty, what is up guys? Evan Aldo here, welcome back. Got a really important video, big warning to all the Ethereum degenerates out there. I want to talk about that in this video. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel because I think there's going to be a lot of good content in this video. I got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about ETH, Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin, ETH versus Bitcoin, that evaluation, Bitcoin dominance, and the DXY a little bit as well, maybe a tiny bit on gold too, but yeah, we're getting into some big points. Obviously, we got the ETH fork tomorrow. We got the Fed minutes, Fed meeting minutes, and we got CPI data. Fed meeting minutes I would think would be more hawkish. ETH fork I think is going to be more of a sell the news type thing. However, I don't know. I think it off with that obviously, but I think a lot of people may withdraw and sell just based on how high we potentially are with ETH to take the profits, and based on how these charts are looking. ETH Bitcoin looking really bearish, ETH looking bearish as well. That's what I think is going to happen with that. I also, in terms of CPI report, I don't know. That's hard to predict. It's supposed to come in like not too bad, so that could kind of maybe offset the Fed minutes a little bit. So it's going to be fun. It's not too often you have this many big things happening in one day. But let's look at the charts and kind of make some estimates of what could happen based on this. So the first thing I want to look at on Bitcoin is the weekly. Now the weekly split RSIs are starting to come down again. When they did come down, obviously here it was a nice kind of bear trap, and you came up higher. That would be the case to come up to like 40K or something. But obviously history never repeats exactly. So your guess is as good as mine here. Definitely not a good sign that we're dipping below 30K right now. It could be getting kind of towards the top. I was talking about earlier the case for 35K. That's another big place. Where you potentially could pump up to. Now, the 3-day is the main case for that right here, because the money flow is getting higher. That's the main case for that. And I would say right here is a pretty big place, like 35. You're not hitting like too much historical support right there, other than kind of this pocket over here. But well, in terms of what you're looking at, yeah, not too much other than that. If you do break up to kind of that point, I think that is possible. If we do have a really good April in the next, kind of 2 or 3 weeks, get up to that point, Bitcoin dominance continues to run. You see altcoins run a little bit, but they still are left in the dust of Bitcoin. ETH probably still is generally left in the dust of Bitcoin. And then I think we come down for a summer low from there, probably back to at least, I would say high 20s to 25, or maybe even 20. I mean, if you get up to 35, I really think this would probably be the bottom. It would be hard to come back down to 15K if you got up to 35, but you could easily come back to 25 or 20K after that for a pretty good buying opportunity towards the summer or later this year. And that would be the place to get into alts, because Bitcoin dominance is going to like continue to skyrocket. I mean, we could see a Bitcoin dominance easily at 60% at those points. And that's the time where, let me show you ETH Bitcoin right now in terms of, you have a yellow X here. This looks bad by a lot of measures. I mean, in this previous time over here, look, in 2018 came down a lot and then continued downward in 2019. Now, I don't know. This is kind of worst case scenario. I think this would be a dream. If you could get into 0.03 for ETH Bitcoin, like we could get this low, your boy may be putting on his degenerate cap and selling a hell of a lot of Bitcoin for ETH, getting into ETH, maybe even all the Bitcoin, just to go full on degenerate in some aspects just at these levels, especially say ETH makes a lower low towards the end of the year, 600, that would be a dream, 500. Not saying it, it's getting less likely as we continue to pump up, but it's still not impossible with regulatory FUD, with a lot of things could happen going into the recession. We go into a recession, I mean, maybe say Bitcoin acts more like gold, it's able to hold up pretty well, but ETH could get hit hard, and altcoins could get hit hard. So be in the eye out for this place. Seems almost like it would be a dream. Probably more likely we would create maybe some type of double bottom here in the next few months or something. I do kind of think you could come down a little bit lower if it's like, if we map it out kind of, let's just map it out like if it's like this here. I mean, yeah, maybe somewhere in between 0.04, somewhere like that potentially for this type of bottom there. I mean, obviously if it's like this one, this would be, I don't think it could be that elongated. That would be a complete, if crypto, no one's going to care about crypto if we do see something that bad. But just trying to think like this type of what that trajectory would be too. I mean, April of 2024, that would be like US goes into like terrible recession, crypto continues to get hit hard, follows traditional markets. You could even see, yeah, that's like a 10K Bitcoin or something in like early 2024. Oh my God, the pain. I don't think that's going to happen. That would be an absolute nightmare. But that's like worst case, worst case scenario. I think is like a 9 to 10K Bitcoin there, like terrible recession, complete Armageddon. You know what I mean? And then that's where you would end up at that point. So that's what I'm kind of thinking there. But ultimately, these points, we'll see. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it is. But right now, the thing with Ethereum that I want to show you guys is hitting, kind of rejecting from this major point right here, got a little bit above it, almost got up to the spiral line or just touched it, and now we're rejecting from that bearish div on the daily. So it's a pretty, we haven't seen one of these in quite some time. I mean, you got it here, that brought us down a good amount. You got it there, that brought us down a good amount. So I do think, it's a good shot of at least coming down to kind of 1600 again for Ethereum. And I did have a really good ETH short in this morning. I have a swing ETH. I have actually two ETH shorts in. Those are trades in the Discord. One's an older one that's been in for a while, not an outcome on that yet. It's doing not bad. And then another one that I just entered that's doing pretty well right now. So if you guys are interested in Discord, link in the description below. I'm not right 100% of the time. Nobody is. I'd be a billionaire in a matter of weeks, but we've had some really good trades in there. I think it's a really good community. I do 2 sessions twice a week in the chat where you guys could ask me questions, and we have a nice chill chat. A lot of people really like it, so that's a new development there. So check it out. Link down below if you're interested. And let's look a little bit more. See money flow coming down with the, I believe this is a bearish div. 13 on the DBSI, not a real high number, but I believe it's, once you get down to these lower time frames here, like the 10 hours, 16 is a pretty decent number for the bears. So it does seem like you could continue generally downward here. We are kind of hitting, we're running some traffic right here. You get a little bounce off of 1850. It's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be a little bit hard to like say exactly, what's going to happen with ETH fork. I think a lot of people would expect a lot of volatility with CPI data, with all the things happening tomorrow. So be careful. That's why I will say be careful. I also think the 3-day and 2-day, once you get red dots here, bearish dips here, this should bring us down significantly. This should mark definitely a local top here once you get these, which we're very close to getting them. Very close. It should happen within the next few days. If we come down to 1800, it'll probably get a red dot here. So you are very close. Also on the weekly split RSIs, you're coming into the green. I believe the last time it was kind of like this was right here. You just rolled over. So that's a pretty significant drop down. That would bring us back down to 1300. A lot of things really point to ETH continuing to bleed against Bitcoin, especially this yellow X right there. Bitcoin dominance is just absolutely breaking out, crushing it right here. We got above this June high, which is momentous, and I think this should continue. And when we do see a pullback, which, whether it's at 35K, whether it's right now at 30K, whether it's at 40K, we will, I think, see this really continue forward. I think a good goal for this is going to be around 55, kind of right here. If we could get to this area, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, how long it's going to take, but it'd be nice. You get this into this area in June, that's a good place to start probably getting into alts, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm going to be starting to trade DCA into altcoins there. And that's going to be good places to get into good positions for the next bull run. Potential 10Xs, 20Xs, big things that you won't have with Bitcoin. And if you're holding on to Bitcoin like I have been, and it keeps outperforming the majority of alts, think of it as kind of getting in, being able to buy more alts. Trading Bitcoin for alts then is buying way more of the altcoin that you wanted, just with the discipline, with the patience that a lot of people don't have. So think about it like that. I also want to look at the DXY right now, and I want to look at this because the 2-day is getting, we talked about it yesterday, I believe, 2-day is getting a nice bullish div right here. Obviously, I talked about it last night, but obviously, all the negative stuff about the Dixie or the US dollar, I think you got to have some type of relief, some type of like bear market, dead cat bounce or something, just with all the like people trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't make sense. It's what happens. You sell you get rid of your dollars and you sell them to the whales, kind of, people buying it may not happen. There is a blood diamond right here, kind of. So it definitely looks kind of bearish there, but I do think ultimately you have a good shot of continuing forward with this until potentially mid-2024, which traditional markets may not bottom out until then. NASDAQ, S&P 500 may not bottom out until then. So that's what we got to keep in mind there. Worst case scenario for Bitcoin, I think, would be following that trajectory. And you could make a lower low in that trajectory, obviously. But I think that's a little, I don't think that's too likely, but, we got to talk about all options, obviously. And I think my strategies that I've been doing are going, it's not going to be the happiest time because, you know, it'd obviously be DCing in too early if you're DCing in now like I am, but you'll be able to get through. I'll be able to get through. You know what I mean? I'll still be in a very good position. So last thing I want to show you guys is gold right here on the 2-day. It's kind of like the inverse of the Dixie DXY kind of, because money flow is still high here, but you're getting the bearish div. So I do think had a really nice run up. It's going to be, you might, excuse me. I'm not selling any of my gold or silver, but you might get a little bit of a pullback here. I'm kind of thinking, unless we just pump up way above kind of this, break through this, and that would be really momentous. But yeah, I think gold's going to do very well for at least the next 3 to 5 years. At least going to outperform the S&P 500, the Nasdaq. So you know, it's a good thing. Nobody's getting rich off of gold anytime soon, but it's a good thing, I think, in this environment. So that's what I'm looking at right now. If you guys want to trade ETH, short ETH, do any of the things, you know, keep in mind if you know how to trade, if you're an experienced trader, you know, that's for experienced traders only. But there is a promo with BITGET. There's a few spots open for a free, completely free, I swear, it's free. Like you don't have to deposit. They give you a $100 trial bonus. The only caveat is you can only withdraw $500 if you happen to like get a 5x with that. But it's still a good thing to play around with the exchange. Also, the other exchanges, all the exchanges down below are very good. All the ones I use, I spread money apart in all of them. I do a lot of trades. So if you guys are interested in that, sign up with my links down below. If you sign up with any of my links down below to the exchanges and deposit at least $100, I will give you 1 free month in my exclusive Discord. Just shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID and I will get that sorted. I also have a trading course that a lot of people have really liked. If you're a beginner, if you're trying to learn how to trade, a lot of people have liked it. People have told me they have done very well with their accounts, with my strategies, with good risk management that I teach in the course. So check that out if you guys are interested. All right, guys, that's all I got. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Have a good one. Goodbye.